I'm signing away my parental rights to a child who'd called me dad for 14 years when the envelope falls out of the court file and the blood isn't mine. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me take you back to the night everything ended. March 5th, a Tuesday, the kind of ordinary evening where the worst things happen because nobody sees them coming. Sarah's making pasta. Tyler's upstairs doing homework, or pretending to, probably on his phone. Madison's in her room with the door closed, which isn't unusual for 16. I'm setting the table, and I remember thinking how domestic this all is. How normal. 20 years of marriage creates rhythms you don't even notice anymore. Fork on the left, knife on the right, marriage on autopilot. Then Madison screams. Not a scared scream, not pain. Something else. Something I'll spend months trying to decode. Sarah drops the colander. Water and Penny scatter across the kitchen floor, and she's already moving, already running up the stairs before I can even ask what's wrong. I follow. Of course I follow. Madison's door is open now. She's sitting on her bed, knees pulled to her chest, and she's crying. The kind of crying that shakes your whole body. Sarah's already there, arms around her, and Madison's face is pressed into her mother's shoulder. What happened? I'm in the doorway. Madison, what's wrong? She doesn't look at me, won't look at me. Sarah does, though, and I see it happen in real time, the way her face changes, the way 20 years of knowing someone can evaporate in a single glance. Tell me. Sarah's voice is soft, the way you talk to something wounded. You're safe. Tell me what happened. Madison's words come out broken between sobs. She stops, starts again. He touched me. The world doesn't stop. That's the thing. The faucet's still running downstairs. Tyler's music is still thumping through his bedroom wall. The neighbor's dog is still barking. Everything keeps going except my ability to understand language. What? I say, brilliant, articulate. What are you talking about? Don't. Sarah's voice is different now, harder. She shifted, physically shifted, to put herself between me and Madison. Don't come closer. Sarah, I haven't. The words won't organize. I don't know what she's talking about. Madison looks up then, just for a second. Her eyes meet mine over her mother's shoulder, and I see something I'll replay 10,000 times in the months ahead. She's still crying. The tears are real. But there's something else there, something that doesn't fit. She smiles, just a flicker. Gone so fast I could have imagined it, but I didn't. I know what I saw. Get out. Sarah stands up. She's 5'4", but right now she's 10 feet tall. Get out of this room. I didn't get out. I back into the hallway. Tyler's door is cracked open. I can see his face, pale, confused, scared. He mouths something at me. I can't read it. Sarah follows me out, pulls Madison's door closed behind her. We're in the hallway, and I can hear Madison still crying inside. It sounds real. It sounds real. I didn't touch her. I'm trying to keep my voice steady, trying to sound calm, trying to sound like someone who's innocent. But here's the thing about innocence. It sounds exactly like guilt when you're desperate. Sarah, I swear to you, I have never... Don't! She holds up a hand. I need to think. I need to... She's shaking. I need you to leave. Tonight. Leave? Sarah, this is insane. I didn't do anything. Then why would she say it? Her voice cracks. Why would she lie about something like this? And that's the question, isn't it? The one that will haunt every conversation, every hearing, every sleepless night. Why would a child lie about this? I don't know. It's the truth, but truth sounds hollow when it's all you have. But I didn't do it. You have to believe me. Sarah's voice drops to that tone, the one she uses before decisions become permanent. Pack a bag. Tonight. The motel on Route 29 smells like industrial lemon cleaner and failure. Room 237. I'll remember that number for the rest of my life. The key card is blue plastic, magnetic strip, already wearing thin from how many hands have held it, how many people have been displaced into rooms like this. It's been 72 hours since Sarah told me to leave. 72 hours of my phone ringing with numbers I don't recognize. Lawyers, police. Sarah's sister Jennifer, voice tight with judgment. My own sister, voice tight with concern. Detective Morrison sits across from me in the police station's interview room. He's maybe 50, gray at the temples, tie loose. He's got a yellow legal pad and a pen that keeps clicking. Click, click, click. Mr. Walker, I need you to answer the questions directly. His voice is even, professional. Did you touch Madison inappropriately? No. Did you ever enter her room without knocking? Sometimes, to tell her dinner was ready, or... I stop. Every answer is a trap. I'm her father. I've been her father since she was 2 years old. Stepfather. He corrects gently. You're her stepfather. I've been her dad for 14 years. That's not what I'm asking. Click, click. The allegations are specific. Madison states that on February 14th, I had a cast on my right arm. I interrupt him. Finally, something concrete, something provable. Radial fracture. I slipped on ice in the driveway. 6-week cast. I couldn't even open a jar. Morrison writes this down. Will verify that. Please do. I'm leaning forward now. Check the medical records. Check anything. I didn't do this. He sets down his pen, looks at me for a long moment. Usually in these cases there's more. The words hang in the air. More allegations, more victims, more evidence. He's right, just not the way anyone thinks. Patricia Chen's office is in downtown Charlottesville, 3rd floor of a brick building that's seen better decades. Her desk is organized chaos, case files stacked in towers that look one breeze away from collapse. She's younger than I expected, early 40s maybe, black suit, no-nonsense glasses. I'll be direct, Mr. Walker. She's got a folder open in front of her. In Virginia, in cases involving allegations against minors, especially stepfathers, the burden of proof isn't what you think it is. Legally, you're presumed innocent. Practically? She taps the folder. You're fighting uphill in ice skates. But I didn't do it. That's what everyone says. She holds up a hand before I can respond. I believe you. I wouldn't take your case if I didn't, but belief doesn't win in family court. Evidence does, and right now, the evidence is her word against yours. So what do I do? She pulls out a printed document, slides it across the desk. Statistics, charts, success rates. These cases don't usually go to trial, she says. They settle. You give up custody rights, sign an agreement saying you'll stay away from Madison until she's 18, and everyone moves on with their lives. And Tyler? Tyler's your biological son. That's different. You'd have visitation rights, supervised at first, but supervised. The word tastes bitter. I'd have to have a stranger watch me with my own son. That's the reality of the accusation. Patricia leans back. I need you to understand what you're walking into if we fight this. It'll cost you everything you have. Your savings, your reputation, your marriage is already over, effectively. And at the end of all of it, she pauses. There's no guarantee we win. What are my chances? She hesitates. That's answer enough. These cases don't go to trial. You lose. My phone rings at 11:47 p.m. on the 3rd night. I don't recognize the number, but it's local, and at this point I answer everything. Dad? Tyler's voice is a whisper. Background noise, music, maybe a TV show playing. Tyler, buddy, where are you? Are you okay? I'm in the bathroom. Mom thinks I'm asleep. He's talking fast, scared. I can't talk long. She took my phone, but I still have my old flip phone. The blue one you got me before the iPhone. Blue plastic, scratched from being hidden in his Star Wars lunchbox. I can see it perfectly. Is she treating you okay? Is Madison... She's lying, Dad. Tyler's voice cracks. He's 12. He shouldn't sound this old. I know she's lying. I was there that night, February 14th. You were on the couch watching that documentary about penguins. Your arm was in the cast. You couldn't even open the pizza box. I had to do it. Something in my chest loosens. First time I've breathed properly in days. Did you tell your mom? She won't listen. She's Dad. She's scared. I've never seen her like this. Madison's been lying about other stuff too, like for months, maybe longer. What kind of stuff? Remember when Mom's vase broke? Madison said Tyler knocked it over playing ball in the house. But I saw her. She pushed it off the table because she was mad Mom wouldn't let her go to some party. He's speeding up, words tripping over each other. And the money from Mom's purse last month? Madison took it to buy... The line goes dead. I call back, straight to voicemail. I sit there on the motel bed, phone in my hand, and I think about Tyler, 12 years old, keeping track of his sister's lies, hiding a phone to call me. We don't leave the people who matter. I'd told him that once, years ago, when his best friend moved away and Tyler cried for 3 days. We don't leave the people who matter, even when it's hard. He's not leaving me, even when everyone else is. My phone buzzes. Text from Tyler's number. Check her old boyfriend's Instagram. 5 words before the line went dead. Linda Ortiz is a private investigator who works out of a converted garage behind her house. Sarah's cousin recommended her. Ironic, considering. She's got 3 monitors set up, the kind of technical setup that looks illegal, but probably isn't. Instagram, you said? She's typing already. Madison Walker, 16. What's the boyfriend's name? I don't know. Tyler just said to check. She pulls up Madison's profile. It's public. Kids never think about that. Photos of her and friends, carefully curated angles, that artificial confidence teenagers project online. Linda scrolls through the tagged photos. There. She clicks on one. Madison at a party, wrapped around a guy who's definitely not high school aged. Jake Morrison, 19, works at the AutoZone off Preston. 19? My jaw clenches. She's 16. Yeah. Linda's still clicking. They're not trying very hard to hide it. Look at the messages. She opens the DM thread. It's all there. Months of conversation, most of it typical teenage stuff. Plans to meet up, complaints about school, late night rambling. Then Linda hits March. March 3rd, 11:47 p.m. Madison to Jake. Need to talk. Serious. March 3rd, 11:52 p.m. Jake to Madison. What's wrong, babe? March 3rd, 11:58 p.m. Madison to Jake. My stepdad is being such a dick about us. Keeps telling Mom I'm too young for you. He's going to ruin everything. March 4th, 2:13 a.m. Madison to Jake. I need him gone, like out of the house, out of our lives. March 4th, 2:18 a.m. Jake to Madison. How? March 4th, 2:31 a.m. Madison to Jake. I have an idea. Trust me. He'll be gone in a week. Linda looks at me. When did she make the accusation? March 5th. She scrolls down. March 5th, 8:47 a.m. Madison to Jake. It's done. The timestamp is right there. Digital evidence, metadata that can't lie. Each timestamp a nail. March 3rd, 11:47 p.m. March 4th, 2:13 a.m. March 5th, 8:47 a.m. Linda screenshots everything, prints it. The paper comes out of the printer warm, ink slightly smudged on the last page. This is premeditation, she says. She planned it. 2 days of planning. I'm staring at the messages, at my stepdaughter's words. He'll be gone in a week. Not a slip of the tongue, not a misunderstanding, just a teenage girl engineering the destruction of a life because I stood between her and a 19-year-old boyfriend. The last message is dated March 3rd. The accusation came March 5th. If you've ever been accused of something you didn't do, leave a 1 in the comments. If someone you trusted turned on you completely, leave a 2. You're not alone in this. Sarah won't answer my calls, won't respond to texts. The lawyers tell me not to contact her directly anyway. Restraining order means communicating through attorneys only, so I write letters. The first one comes back unopened. Return to sender, address crossed out in Sarah's handwriting, sharp, angry strokes. The second one comes back the same way. The third through seventh, all returned. The eighth one I send on Tyler's birthday, April 12th. He's 13 now. I wasn't there. Wasn't allowed to be there. I write about the time we built that terrible birdhouse together, how it fell apart the first time it rained, how we laughed until our stomachs hurt. I write about how proud I am, how much I miss him. That one doesn't come back. Linda calls it a crack in the fortress. She kept it. She says, that means something. I'm sitting in her office garage, surrounded by evidence files that are starting to take over my life. Bank statements showing I've drained my savings. Credit card bills for attorney fees. The motel key card, number 237, that I keep in my wallet like a talisman. Magnetic strip worn from being clutched. What did you write on the envelope? Linda asks. Nothing, just Sarah's name. No, the back. I think about it. Tyler drew on it last year, before all this. A stick figure drawing, just two people holding hands. He labeled them Dad and me. I found it in my desk drawer when I was packing. Used it because I stop. I don't know why. It felt right. Linda nods slowly. She couldn't throw away her son's drawing, even if it meant keeping your letter. Sarah's sister Jennifer had called me 2 weeks after everything exploded. Not to accuse, to question. Her voice was careful, measured. Michael, I need to ask you something, and I need you to be honest with me. Okay. In 20 years, has there ever been a time when Sarah had a reason not to trust you? The question hung there, 20 years of marriage compressed into one answer. No, I said, never. She was quiet for a long moment. That's what I thought. Then she hung up. Linda's been tracking Jennifer's movements. She's been to the house 6 times in the last month, stays for hours. She's asking questions, Linda says. People don't ask questions unless they have doubts. Jennifer asked the questions Sarah couldn't. In 20 years, did Michael ever give you a reason not to trust him? Dr. Rebecca Walsh's office is in a professional building near the university. Cream walls, abstract art, that particular kind of neutral that therapists favor. She agreed to meet with me, not as Madison's therapist, she was careful to say, just to talk. I can't discuss anything Madison told me in session, she says before I even sit down. Client confidentiality is absolute, especially with minors. I understand, but I wanted to meet you anyway. She's in her 50s, gray hair pulled back, kind eyes that have seen too much. Because I have an ethical dilemma, Mr. Walker, and I thought seeing you in person might help me resolve it. I wait. I've been a therapist for 26 years, she says. I've treated abuse victims, real victims, people who carry scars, visible and invisible. And I've also treated people who lie, who manipulate, who use therapy as a stage for their narratives. She pauses. Do you know what the difference is? No. Consistency. Real trauma victims have inconsistent memories. It's how trauma works. The brain protects itself by fragmenting things, but liars? She leans forward slightly. Liars have perfect stories, rehearsed, too detailed in some places, too vague in others. And when you ask them to tell it again, it's identical. Word for word. My heart is pounding. Are you telling me Madison? I'm not telling you anything about Madison. She cuts me off. I can't, but I can tell you that I've documented certain behavioral patterns in my session notes, patterns that concern me professionally, and those notes are sealed by court order. So they can't be used. Not unless Madison herself waives confidentiality, not unless she makes her therapy records public in some way. Dr. Walsh looks at me steadily. Sometimes people expose themselves, Mr. Walker. Sometimes they get so confident in their lies that they forget to be careful. How would that happen? She stands, signals the meeting is over. I can't testify. Then she says, but if Madison herself disclosed something publicly? The sentence hangs unfinished, a roadmap disguised as a hypothetical. Here's a question for you. Is protecting someone from truth the same as loving them? Drop truth always, or it depends in the comments. No wrong answers here. Tyler calls again 3 weeks later. Same flip phone, same whispered voice. Dad, I did something. I don't know if it was wrong. My stomach drops. What happened? Are you okay? I'm fine. He stops, starts again. Madison was talking to Kayla, her best friend, in the living room. They didn't know I was home. I was supposed to be at soccer practice, but it got rained out. Okay. I recorded them, on the flip phone, the one she doesn't know I have. Blue plastic hidden in a Star Wars lunchbox, now a surveillance device. Tyler, you don't have to... I already did it. And Dad? His voice cracks. You need to hear this. He sends the audio file. It's 10 minutes long. I sit in the motel room, room 237, industrial lemon smell, water stains on the ceiling, and I press play. Static first, then voices. Young, female, that particular pitch teenagers use when they think they're alone. Can't believe your mom is still falling for it? That's Kayla. Madison laughs, actually laughs. Mom believes anything I cry about. It's literally pathetic. I just have to make my voice shake and she's all, oh baby, I'm so sorry, tell me everything. But what if someone finds out? Finds out what? That I lied? Madison's voice is light, amused. Who's going to believe him over me? I'm 16. He's the big scary stepdad. The system is literally designed for me to win. What about Tyler? Tyler's 12. Nobody listens to kids his age. He'll back me up if he knows what's good for him. A pause. Besides, once Jake and I can actually be together without Michael breathing down our necks, none of this will matter. He'll be gone. Mom will get over it, and I'll finally have my life back. This is kind of intense, Mads. It's strategic. Madison's voice hardens. He was never going to let me live my life, always in my business. Where are you going? Who are you with? Jake's too old for you. Like, he's not even my real dad. He doesn't get to control me. Do you think he actually, did anything wrong? Madison laughs again, cold, clear. Of course not. That's the point. You don't have to actually be guilty when being accused is enough to destroy someone. The system doesn't care about proof anymore, just tears. The recording continues. Small talk about school, plans for summer, Madison discussing Jake like he's a prize she's about to win. Then Kayla says something that makes my blood freeze. What if your mom finds out you lied? She won't. Madison sounds certain, and even if she does, she'll forgive me. She always does. Blood is thicker than water, right? She'll pick me over Michael every single time. That's what moms do. The recording ends. I sit there in the silence. The seconds between Sarah saying, pack a bag, and closing the door, 17. I'd counted, but this is different. This is Madison's voice on the recording. Mom believes anything I cry about. It's pathetic. Not a slip of the tongue, not a misunderstanding, just a teenage girl laughing about ruining a life. Linda gets me the school records through a contact in the district office. It takes a subpoena, but Patricia makes it happen. Vice Principal Thomas sits across from us in his office. He's uncomfortable, keeps adjusting his tie, his collar, his glasses. The file in front of him is thin, deliberately thin. These are sealed disciplinary records, he says. Normally, I couldn't... The subpoena is valid, Patricia interrupts, and Mr. Walker has a right to know if there's a pattern of behavior. Thomas opens the file. 2 incidents, both in the last 18 months. What kind of incidents? The first was with a teacher, Mr. Rodriguez, ninth grade English. Madison accused him of making inappropriate comments about her appearance, said he'd touched her shoulder in a way that made her uncomfortable. Parents were called. Investigation was conducted. And security footage showed Mr. Rodriguez never approached Madison outside of normal classroom interaction. Another student came forward and said Madison had been angry because Mr. Rodriguez gave her a C on a paper she thought deserved an A. He pauses. The accusation was deemed unfounded. Mr. Rodriguez was cleared. Madison received a written warning. The second incident. Madison accused a classmate, Emma Hartley, of stealing her phone. Said she saw Emma take it from her locker. Emma denied it. Locker search found nothing. Then Madison found the phone in her own backpack 3 days later. Said she must have forgotten she put it there. Thomas looks at me, but Emma's parents were already threatening legal action. The school counselor noted in her report that Madison showed no remorse for the false accusation. Patricia is writing all of this down. Pattern documentation, evidence of behavior. Why wasn't this information available earlier? I ask. Student privacy laws, sealed records for minors. We can't disclose disciplinary history unless there's a court order or... He stops. Or a subpoena. The vice principal slides the file across the desk. 2 prior incidents. Accused teacher Mr. Rodriguez cleared. Accused classmate of theft proven false. We couldn't tell you before, Thomas says quietly. But now there's a subpoena. Jake Morrison works at the AutoZone off Preston Avenue. He's 19, but looks younger, skinny, acne scars, nervous energy. When Linda and I approach him in the parking lot at the end of his shift, he knows exactly why we're there. I didn't do anything illegal, he says immediately, defensive. Dating a 16-year-old when you're 19 is a gray area in Virginia, Linda says calmly, but that's not why we're here. We're here about Madison's accusation against her stepfather. That's not my business. It became your business when you texted her about getting rid of Michael. I pull out the printed Instagram messages. March 4th. How? You asked. She said she had an idea. Jake's face goes white. I didn't know she was going to do that. Do what? Lie. Say he... Jake runs a hand through his hair. Look, Madison was pissed at her stepdad. He told her mom about us, tried to get them to break us up. She was mad. She said a lot of things. Like what? Like she wanted him gone. Out of the house. She said if he wasn't around, things would be easier. I thought she meant like running away or something. Not... He stops, not accusing him of that. But you knew she was lying, Linda says. Not at first. When she told me what happened, I believed her. Who lies about that? He looks genuinely confused by this question. But then she kept changing details. First it was February. Then it was January. First it was her bedroom. Then it was the kitchen. And she'd laugh about it when we were alone. Like it was a game. Did you tell anyone? Who would I tell? I'm the 19-year-old boyfriend. I look like the bad guy here no matter what. Jake's voice is rising, scared. My mom found out I was seeing Madison. She lost it, threatened to kick me out. And when she heard about the accusation, what did your mom do? I ask. Jake looks at me for the first time, really looks at me. She made me write everything down, everything Madison told me. Every time the story changed, every time she laughed about it. She said if I didn't, she'd go to the police herself and tell them I was involved. Do you still have what you wrote? He nods slowly. My mom made copies. She's talking to a lawyer. She doesn't want me connected to this. Linda and I exchange glances. Would you be willing to sign an affidavit? Patricia asks. She's been standing back, letting us talk. Now she steps forward, attorney mode fully activated. Legal statement describing what Madison told you about the accusation, the inconsistencies, the laughter. Jake looks terrified. If I do that, Madison will... Madison lied about a man who raised her for 14 years, Linda says quietly. She destroyed his life because he tried to protect her from making bad decisions. What do you think she'll do to you when you're no longer useful? The silence stretches. Cars pull in and out of the AutoZone parking lot. Normal people doing normal things. Oil changes, tire rotations, lives that haven't imploded. Okay, Jake says finally. I'll sign it. Patricia pulls out a form. Jake reads it, hands shaking. He signs. His mother's name is at the bottom as witness, Claire Morrison. Jake's signed affidavit admitting Madison planned the accusation. Text messages discussing getting rid of Michael. It's all there now. Evidence stacking, truth building. Jake's statement ends with 8 words. She said it would be easy, just tears. Tyler agrees to testify. That's the phrase Patricia uses. Agrees to testify. Like it's simple, like it's easy. We're in Patricia's office. Tyler sits in the chair next to me, wearing his school uniform, khakis, and a blue polo. He's tall for 13 now, growing into himself, but right now he looks small. Tyler, do you understand what this means? Patricia's voice is gentle. If you testify, you'll have to answer questions under oath about what you saw, what you heard, about Madison. She's my sister. Tyler's voice is quiet. Half-sister, I say, then hate myself for saying it. She's still my sister. Mom will... He stops. Mom won't forgive me for this. That's the real cost. Not the courtroom, not the lawyers. The cost is Sarah. The cost is Tyler choosing between truth and his mother's love. You don't have to do this, I tell him. Tyler, I won't ask you to. You taught me lying was wrong. He's looking at his hands. You always said that. When I was little and I'd try to get out of trouble by lying, you'd say, Tyler, I can forgive almost anything, but I can't forgive lying. Truth matters more than comfort. Remember. I remember. Of course I remember. I remember. So I can't... His voice cracks. I can't unlearn that just because it's convenient now. Just because Mom wants me to. Madison lied. She's still lying. And everyone believes her because I didn't say anything. You were scared. I was a coward. He looks up at me, tears streaming down his face. You stayed my dad even when you didn't have to. Even when they kicked you out. Even when you lost everything. You didn't leave me. How can I leave you? This is the moment I'll remember forever. My 13-year-old son choosing truth over safety, choosing me over everything else. I pull him into a hug. He's almost as tall as me now. When did that happen? Patricia gives us a minute. When Tyler pulls back, she slides a composition notebook across the desk. Blue-lined paper, slightly worn cover. What's this? I ask. My journal, Tyler says. You told me to keep one for English class, remember? But I've been writing down things Madison does, things she lies about. I didn't know why at first, just felt wrong not to, like someone needed to keep track of the truth. I open the notebook. Tyler's careful handwriting fills the pages. Dates, observations, documented truth. January 8th, Madison lied about why she broke Mom's vase, said I did it playing ball in the house, but I saw her push it off the table because Mom wouldn't let her go to Kayla's party. February 3rd, Madison told Mom she got a B on her English test. She got a D. I saw the real grade when her folder fell out of her backpack. February 14th, Dad couldn't even open the pizza box tonight because of his cast. I had to do it. He watched Penguin's documentary on the couch until he fell asleep at 9:30. Never went upstairs. March 5th, Madison told Mom that Dad touched her. But that's not true. I don't know why she said it, but it's not true. March 12th, Mom says I have to stop asking about Dad. Says I'm too young to understand, but I'm not too young to know what truth is. Entry after entry, a child keeping track because someone had to. because truth needed a witness. Tyler, my voice is rough. You've been doing this for months. Since Christmas. He wipes his face. Madison got weird after she met Jake. Started lying more, getting angry when people questioned her. I don't know what I thought, but you always said to write things down. That documentation matters. Patricia is reading through the notebook, making notes. This is evidence, she says. Contemporaneous documentation. Dated, detailed. She looks at Tyler. You're a very brave young man. I don't feel brave. Tyler's voice is small. I feel like I'm betraying my family. You're not betraying anyone, I say. You're telling the truth. That's the opposite of betrayal. He nods, but I can see he doesn't quite believe it. 13 years old and already learning that doing the right thing doesn't always feel right. One more thing, Patricia says. Tyler, when you testify, Madison's lawyer will ask you hard questions. He'll try to make it seem like you're lying to protect your dad, like you're confused or misremembering. Can you handle that? Tyler looks at me, then back at Patricia. You taught me lying was wrong, Dad, even when it's hard, even when Mom's mad. I can't unlearn that. Have you ever watched someone half your age show twice your courage? Tell me about it in the comments. Sometimes kids teach us what integrity actually looks like. The deposition takes place in a conference room that tries too hard to look important. Long table, leather chairs, window overlooking a parking lot. Sarah sits at the far end, flanked by her attorney, a man named Richard Booth who wears expensive suits and cheaper ethics. Madison sits next to Sarah. She's dressed carefully. Modest sweater, hair pulled back. The picture of innocence. She won't look at me. Patricia arranges her materials with surgical precision, folders, exhibits, the timeline chart she's been building for months, a visual representation of every inconsistency, every impossibility, every lie. The court stenographer settles in. Her fingers hover over the keys, ready to record everything. Every word will matter now. Every pause, every contradiction. Madison, Patricia begins. Her voice is calm, almost gentle. Can you tell us again, in your own words, what you allege happened on February 14th? Madison glances at her mother. Sarah nods encouragingly. Michael, came into my room around 9 p.m. I was doing homework. He sat on my bed and started talking to me. Then She stops, takes a breath. He touched me, on my leg. He moved his hand up and... Which hand? Patricia interrupts. What? Which hand did he touch you with? Left or right? Madison blinks. His right hand. Patricia slides a photograph across the table. It's dated February 10th. Michael standing in the driveway, right arm encased in white plaster from wrist to elbow. Tyler's signature visible in green marker. Get well, Dad. The word circled 3 times. This photo is timestamped February 10th, Patricia says. Her voice is still calm, clinical. This is Michael's right arm in a cast. Medical records show he sustained a radial fracture on January 28th. The cast was applied on January 29th. It remained on his arm for 6 weeks, removed on March 11th. February 14th falls well within that period. Madison stares at the photo. So I'll ask again, Patricia continues. How did Michael touch you with his right hand when his right arm was immobilized in a cast? Maybe it was his left hand. Patricia pulls out Madison's written statement, the one filed with the police. This is your sworn statement from March 7th. You state very clearly, he touched me with his right hand. I remember because he wasn't wearing his wedding ring. Do you remember writing that? I was upset. I might have gotten confused. About which hand someone assaulted you with? Patricia's voice sharpens, just slightly. That seems like a fairly significant detail to be confused about. Booth intervenes. My client was traumatized. Small inconsistencies are... Let's talk about the timeline then. Patricia spreads documents across the table, phone records, GPS data, Tyler's composition notebook. You state the incident occurred at approximately 9 p.m. on February 14th, but phone records show Michael made a call to his sister at 8:47 p.m. that lasted 32 minutes. Cell tower data places him in the kitchen during the entire call. The call ended at 9:19 p.m. He could have come upstairs after. At 9:30 p.m., Michael texted Sarah goodnight from the living room. Sarah responded from upstairs at 9:31. Michael then watched Netflix. Account records show Penguin Planet streamed from the living room TV from 9:33 to 10:47 p.m. Patricia looks up. Tyler's written testimony states his father fell asleep on the couch during the documentary, that he, Tyler, turned off the TV at 10:47 and covered his father with a blanket before going to bed. Madison's face is pale now. So when exactly did this alleged assault occur? Patricia asks. Because according to digital records, witness testimony, and physical evidence, Michael was never alone with you, was never on the second floor of your house, and physically could not have done what you describe. The silence in the room is absolute. Maybe I got the date wrong, Madison says. Her voice is smaller now. Maybe it was a different night. Your written statement specifies February 14th, Valentine's Day. You said you remembered because you'd been sad about not having a boyfriend to celebrate with. Patricia pulls out another document. Instagram messages show you were already dating Jake Morrison at that time. In fact, you messaged him at 8:23 p.m. on February 14th saying, and I quote, "Wish you were here instead of stuck with family dinner." Does that sound like someone who was alone in her room doing homework? This is harassment, Booth says. You're badgering a minor. I'm asking for the truth. Patricia's voice is ice. Something your client seems allergic to providing. She slides another exhibit forward. Madison's Instagram DMs with Jake. Each timestamp highlighted. March 3rd, 11:47 p.m. March 4th, 2:13 a.m. March 5th, 8:47 a.m. You texted Jake Morrison 2 days before making your accusation. You said, I need him gone. Jake asked how. You said, I have an idea. Trust me, he'll be gone in a week. Then, the morning of March the 5th, after making your accusation, you texted Jake, it's done. Madison is silent. You planned this, Patricia says. Not an assault, not abuse, a false accusation, premeditated, calculated, because Michael tried to protect you from making bad decisions. Tyler recorded a conversation between you and your friend Kayla. Patricia plays the audio. Madison's voice fills the room. Mom believes anything I cry about. It's literally pathetic. Sarah's face crumbles. I watch it happen. 20 years of my wife, and I've never seen her look like this. Like the foundation of her world just gave way. Madison is crying now. Real tears. But they're not remorse. They're fear. You lied, Patricia says, simply. You destroyed a man's life. Separated a father from his son, traumatized your family, and you did it because you wanted to date a 19-year-old and your stepfather tried to stop you. Patricia asks, Madison, what hand did he touch you with? Madison says, his right hand. Patricia slides the cast photo across the table, Michael's right arm immobilized, Tyler's signature visible. The document falls out of the court file by accident, completely by accident. We're reviewing materials in Patricia's office, preparing for the actual hearing now that the deposition has blown Madison's story apart, and a manila envelope slips from between two folders. It's sealed, government letterhead, dated 6 years ago. What's this? Patricia picks it up. I don't recognize it. I've never seen that before. She opens it, scans the contents. Her face changes. Michael. Her voice is careful. Did you know Sarah had Madison tested? Tested for what? She hands me the paper. It's a DNA report. From a lab in Richmond, maternity test results. Subject A, Sarah Walker. Probability of maternity, 0.0%. Subject B, Madison Walker, half-sibling relationship to Tyler. Walker, 99.97% confirmed biological mother, Amanda Walker, deceased. I read it 3 times. The words don't change. Madison isn't Sarah's biological daughter. Patricia says quietly, she's Sarah's niece, her sister's child. Amanda. I remember her, Sarah's younger sister, died in a car accident when Madison was 2. Sarah had been devastated. We'd taken Madison in without question, adopted her officially when she was 3. Sarah knew, I say, the pieces clicking together. She knew Madison wasn't biologically hers. That's why she couldn't question her. Patricia finishes. Guilt. Fear of losing her sister's child. Fear that if she didn't believe Madison didn't protect her absolutely, she'd be failing Amanda's memory. The paper says, probability of maternity, 0%. Subject Madison Walker is biological half-sibling to Tyler Walker, biological daughter of deceased Amanda Walker, Sarah's sister. Sarah had been protecting Madison's secret, her dead sister's child. The guilt of surviving when Amanda didn't. The fear of not being enough. It explains everything. Sarah's blind spot, her inability to question, her choice to believe tears over 20 years of marriage. Why was this in the court file? I ask. It shouldn't be. Patricia examines the envelope. This was sealed. It's marked Personal Family Court Archives. Someone filed it by mistake. Or, she pauses, or someone wanted it found. Government seal unbroken, dated 6 years ago. Truth Sarah paid for but never opened until she had to know, then kept hidden. The hearing takes place in a small courtroom in Charlottesville. Judge Catherine Morrison presiding, no relation to Jake or the detective. She's in her 60s, gray hair, sharp eyes, reputation for fairness. The gallery is fuller than I expected. Jennifer, Sarah's sister, sitting in the back. Linda Ortiz. Some people I don't recognize. Reporters, maybe. Dr. Rebecca Walsh in the 3rd row. Tyler next to Patricia at our table. Sarah and Madison sit with Booth. Madison's wearing a gray dress. She looks younger than 16. Vulnerable. It's calculated, I realize. Everything about her is calculated. Patricia presents the evidence methodically. Medical records, phone records, GPS data, Tyler's notebook, the Instagram messages, Jake's affidavit, the recording. Each piece builds on the last. A prosecution of truth. When Tyler takes the stand, the courtroom goes quiet. He's sworn in. His hand shakes on the Bible. Booth tries to discredit him, calls him confused, suggests he's protecting his father, implies he's been coached. Tyler never wavers. Did your father coach you to say these things? Booth asks. No, sir. Did he ask you to lie for him? My father taught me lying was wrong. Tyler's voice is steady, clear. He taught me that truth matters more than comfort. I'm not lying. I'm telling you what I saw, what I wrote down, what actually happened. You love your father very much. Yes, sir. You'd do anything to protect him. I'd do anything to tell the truth. Tyler looks at the judge. Even when it's hard, even when people are mad at me, that's what integrity means. 13 years old and teaching a courtroom full of adults what honor looks like. Dr. Walsh testifies next. Madison had waived confidentiality 2 weeks earlier, posted on social media about finally telling her truth in therapy, making her sessions fair game. In my professional opinion, Dr. Walsh says, Madison exhibited patterns of behavior inconsistent with trauma victims. Her story was too consistent, rehearsed. She showed no signs of PTSD, no triggers, no trauma responses. What she showed was a teenager who enjoyed the attention and power her accusation provided. That's your professional opinion? Judge Morrison asks. Yes, Your Honor. Based on 26 years of treating both genuine trauma victims and individuals who fabricate allegations, Madison Walker's presentation was textbook fabrication. Jake testifies via video. His mother insisted he not be in the same room as Madison. He describes the texts, the planning, Madison's laughter about playing the victim card. She said it would be easy, Jake says, his face pale on the monitor. Just tears. That's all it would take. Nobody questions tears. Sarah doesn't testify. Booth advises against it, but I watch her face throughout the proceedings. Watch her understand piece by piece that she'd chosen wrong. When Patricia presents the paternity test, Sarah stands up. Your Honor, I need... Her voice breaks. May I approach? Judge Morrison allows it. Sarah walks to the bench. They speak quietly. I can't hear what's said, but I see Sarah crying. See the judge's face soften slightly. When Sarah returns to her seat, she won't look at Madison, won't touch her. Something has broken. Finally. Judge Morrison delivers her ruling from the bench. No delay, no, I'll take this under advisement. She's made her decision. I have reviewed all evidence presented, testimony from multiple witnesses, physical evidence including medical records, digital communications, and contemporaneous documentation, expert testimony from a licensed therapist. She looks at Madison. Miss Walker, I find your accusations to be wholly fabricated, malicious, and demonstrably false. The words land like physical blows, each one a stitch closing the wound. The evidence shows premeditation, planning, a calculated attempt to destroy an innocent man's reputation and relationship with his family. You weaponized a system designed to protect real victims. In doing so, you have harmed not only Mr. Walker, but every genuine survivor who will now face additional skepticism because of false accusers like you. Madison is sobbing. Booth has his hand on her shoulder. All charges against Michael Walker are dismissed with prejudice. The restraining order is hereby vacated. Full custody of Tyler Walker is restored to Mr. Walker effective immediately, with Sarah Walker retaining standard visitation rights pending family therapy evaluation. Sarah makes a sound, something between a gasp and a sob. As for you, Miss Walker, the judge's voice is stern. You are 16, old enough to understand consequences. You will complete 200 hours of community service at the Charlottesville Domestic Violence Shelter. You will see firsthand the real victims your lies mock. You will write a formal apology to Mr. Walker to be read aloud in this court. And you will undergo mandatory counseling to address whatever led you to believe destroying someone's life was acceptable. Judge Morrison stamps the order. The red ink bleeds through 3 pages. Dismissed with prejudice. The sound echoes. Wood on wood. Official sound of innocent. The gavel strike. Oak, 40 years of verdicts absorbed into the grain, declares it finished. In the courthouse hallway, Tyler breaks away from Sarah. He runs to me, doesn't stop running until he collides with me, arms wrapping around my waist. I knew you didn't do it, he says into my chest. I knew. I kneel down. We're eye level now. You're the bravest person I know. I was scared. Brave isn't not being scared. Brave is being scared and doing the right thing anyway. I pull him close. He's wearing my old baseball jacket, the one I left behind when I packed. Someone saved it for him. You did that. You stood up when it mattered. Sarah approaches slowly. Her eyes are red. Her face is a map of devastation. Michael. Her voice is barely audible. I stand up, keep my hand on Tyler's shoulder. I chose fear over faith, Sarah says. I chose protecting her over believing you. I can't undo that. No, I agree. You can't. I was so afraid of losing her, of failing Amanda. of being the aunt who wasn't enough. And she stops. I destroyed us. You did. She flinches, but she doesn't argue. I don't need you to leave Madison, I tell her. She's still your daughter, still Tyler's sister, but I need you to see her clearly, to stop letting guilt blind you, to stop choosing comfortable lies over hard truths. I know. Sarah looks at Tyler. Mom's going to therapy too, Tyler says to me. The judge ordered family counseling. All of us. Not all of us, I correct gently. You and your mom, Madison if she's willing to do the work. Me, I pause. I'm not family counseling material anymore. Sarah's face crumbles, but she nods. She understands. Jennifer approaches. She hugs me, brief, fierce. I'm sorry I didn't speak up sooner, she whispers. I should have known. You asked the right question eventually, I tell her. That matters. 2 weeks later, Tyler and I are at a baseball game. Richmond Flying Squirrels versus the Akron Rubber Ducks. Minor league baseball, cheap tickets, expensive hot dogs, the smell of grass, and decades of Saturdays. Tyler's wearing my old jacket. It's too big for him still, but he'll grow into it. The sleeve cuffs are worn soft from years of wear. We're in the 5th inning when my phone buzzes. A text from Sarah. He still asks about you. Every day. He misses his dad. Maybe we could meet for coffee next week, just to talk. About Tyler. About what comes next. I read it twice. Tyler's watching the game, eating popcorn, laughing at something the mascot is doing. This is what it looks like, I think. Recovery, not reconciliation, not pretending nothing happened, just this. A father and his son, a normal Saturday, the ritual continuing despite everything. I text back, not yet. Sarah responds immediately. I understand. When you're ready. Maybe, I write. But Sarah, we don't leave the people who matter. Tell him I love him. She sends back a single word. Always. I look at Tyler. He's grown 3 inches since March. His voice is starting to change. He's becoming himself, this kid who chose truth over safety, who documented reality when everyone else wanted comfortable fiction. Dad, he's looking at me now. You okay? Yeah. I put my phone away. I'm good. Was that Mom? Yeah. What did she say? She said, you miss me. Tyler shrugs, tries to look casual. I mean, obviously, you're my dad. You know what I was thinking? I say. We should make this a tradition. Every other Saturday, baseball games, just us. His face lights up. Really? Really? We don't leave the people who matter, right? Tyler grins. Right. On the field, someone hits a home run. The crowd cheers. Tyler jumps up, cheering too, popcorn spilling. I stand next to him, and for the first time in months, I feel something like peace. Not happiness, not yet, but peace. The knowledge that truth survived, that Tyler survived, that we survived. Sarah texts again. Jennifer says you got your job back. I'm glad. Thanks, I write. Michael, will we ever be okay? Us? I watch Tyler. Watch him be 13 and alive and unbroken by all of it. I don't know. I text honestly, but we don't leave the people who matter. And Tyler matters, so we'll figure out how to do this. For him, she agrees. The game continues. Tyler's laughing again. The jacket sleeves fall over his hands when he raises his arms. He looks like a kid playing dress-up in his father's clothes. One day, it'll fit him perfectly. One day, he'll pass it to his own kid maybe. Tell them about the summer everything fell apart and came back together different. Tell them about choosing truth when everyone wanted lies. Tell them about what family really means. We don't leave the people who matter. But sometimes distance is how love survives. Sometimes healing means holding on while letting go. Sometimes being a family means redefining what family looks like. The sun sets over the outfield. The lights come on. Tyler leans against me, comfortable, safe, home. This, I think, this is enough. If you have a found family story, people who chose you when blood didn't, or when you chose them back, share it in the comments below. The best families aren't always born, sometimes they're built. And if this story meant something to you, send it to someone who needs to hear it. Sometimes one person believing you is enough to start rebuilding.